Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Almost the Weekend. Today is Friday, September 24th, the last Friday in September, and this is your Friday planning video. So, hope everybody had a great week. What a roller coaster of a week it was in the markets. September is delivering on its promise of volatility. So, make sure you check out the market update video on Monday. That'll give you a recap of course, what happened this week and what's going to happen the following week. So, today I want to revisit some retirement planning talk, add a few items that we haven't yet discussed. As we move into the fourth quarter of the year, we start to talk about maximizing your retirement contributions, making sure that we've done all that we can and making sure we're doing it the right way, whether it's 401k, 403b, whether it's IRA, whatever retirement plan you have, we want to talk about, are we maximizing that to the best of our ability? So that brings up one of the big questions. Do we do Roth or do we do traditional for retirement contributions? More simply put, is it pre-tax or is it after-tax dollars? And then even more simple than that, is it going to be tax-free growth or is it going to be tax-deferred growth? So we want to talk about all that. I have these conversations every day. They're very specific to your own details, so I want to make sure that we have that set up in your plan. I want to talk about that. Make sure you do ask a couple of the questions about your 401k and 403b. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. So a quick review of this. If you can use a Roth IRA or 401k or 403b, you'll pay the taxes on the money now in your income, and then the investments will grow tax-free in the Roth account. There are specific rules as to when you can access that and how long they have to be in there, but we'll go over that as well when we talk about that. But the younger that you are, this option allows for many, many years of tax-free growth at the expense of paying the taxes up front, so this may be something that works out for you. In the traditional IRA accounts or traditional 401k or 403b, you usually deduct the contribution from your income now so that you don't pay income tax on it now. Now, now's a good time to insert the fact that, remember, we don't give specific tax advice, but we do look forward to working with you and your tax advisor to make sure that we have the proper tax plan in place. So back to the example, traditional contributions. You won't pay the income taxes now, but presumably when you'll pay them when you retire, when presumably your income tax level and your rates will be lower. Now, that's the big rub, right? We have nearly $30 trillion in U.S. debt. We don't know where the taxes are going to be. So with possible higher tax rates down the line, this part's really not a sure bet. So regardless, two things with this, Roth versus traditional. Keep an eye on these things. First, we can do the math on it. Let's talk about it, see which it fits. We'll make some assumptions and we'll see if it fits in your plan. And second, as you've heard me say a lot recently, it's not all or nothing. You can have Roth and you can have traditional. It's a good idea these days with the continuing shift of the tax laws that it makes sense to have different buckets of tax liability, some tax-free, some tax-deferred. So this is, again, a good conversation to have. There are limits on how much you can contribute. There are also income limits on IRA and Roth IRA contributions, but there's some ways to work with those. So finally, I want to bring to light one seemingly simple question that's not always so simple. So that is a 401k or 403b always my best choice for retirement planning? And so, again, I wouldn't bring it up if it were so simple, but each plan is different, and most of the time you should participate in one form or another, but there are a few facts that you should try to gather as you make those choices. So first, your investment choices, your investment lineup is going to be limited. It's almost always limited to just a few choices in there. Now, it doesn't mean you can't make a great allocation choice from that short list you have, but it is something you want to make sure that it lines up with your overall plan. I see many, many plans that are way out of line with the risk tolerance, way out of line with overall allocation, to make sure we line those up with your plan. Second, fees can be high in the plan. So again, you can't control the actual fees of the plan, but you can control the fees of the investments you have, so just make sure we know what those investments are and what those fees are. And finally, as we discussed a moment ago, Roth is something you want to try to get in your 401k or 403b, maybe something we want to look at. So is it available? This is a question you should ask, because that does change the entire makeup of all this. A quick note, matching your 401k and 403b is clearly a game changer, so that is a question you want to ask as well. Okay, as we go into the fourth quarter of the year, let's discuss retirement plans. Are you funding them most efficiently? And by the way, not all your investments have to be in retirement plans. Remember, if you want to retire early or get access to some of this money early, you don't want everything, every dollar to be in your retirement plans, because there are penalties for taking it out before retirement. So again, that's a story for another day, but it is something we want to continue to talk about. So your retirement goals are usually pretty high up on that list, so we're going to continue to talk about that as well as all the other goals that you have. Remember, we're going to talk about this, and please make sure we discuss this in our meetings. Remember, those goals and all the other goals are the key to your plan. So keep watching these planning videos on Friday. Let's make sure we talk about them then when we meet. And again, what we're going to talk about on Fridays on these planning videos is how we're going to continue to chase those goals and make sure that we do everything we can to succeed. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday for the market update video.